Hello. Today I'm going to show a quick and easy way that I can do these little 3-inch panels. To start with, I have beeswax on the panel and I've scraped it already so it's smooth. Use my scraper here, run it across, get the grooves out as best I can. As you can see, it's got some scratches in it, but that's just the nature of using these scrapers. Um, to make it a little bit quicker, I've used this nice little die cut that I got from Fiskars. Um, it'll basically cut your hexagon shape, or I'm sure you can order different things, but it's pretty nice to knock out the shapes you want. And in this case, I did my hexagons, of course. I've got this in 2 different sizes, which is kind of cool. But as you can see, this is a panel that I did recently. Kind of the same thing. And then this over here is just the paper. So I just placed my paper here on the cutting board, and I've got my 3-inch panel, and I made sure that fits the size of my panel. I'm gonna heat this wax just a little bit so it's tackier, and I'm gonna set this on top, wax down. And one cool thing about this is you can lay out the grid of the pieces you want to transfer. Boom. And they're already, you can see visually as you're working on it, the composition, the colors, how they all match up. Unlike how I normally do it, where I cut one, put it face down, cut another, put it face down, and it looks like this as I'm working on it. So this technique here, if you're just doing something small like this, you can lay it out and then just place it on top. Still have to do the burnishing. I'll try not to push too hard since that wax is a little soft. My edges are a little overlapped. Okay. So now that I have my panel covered and we are burnished, move this stuff out of the way. Now I can get some sandpaper and lightly sand it. This is a good way to test magazines too, I guess. Um, Instead of doing the strips like I normally do, you could get a die cut and just cut squares, whatever. Lay them out, pick them up on your panel, sand them, wipe up some of this dust. Spray it with water. Now we're going to let the water soak in. And I'm going to rub off the paper. And we have our transfer. Now I'm going to take the heat gun and heat it up a little bit. Got it heated. Now just add a little contrast, similar to this one. We'll carve in those lines just so I can get a little separation between those hexagons. And it shows the wood in the background, which is lighter than the ink transfer. And you can use different tools. This is I think I got this in a book arts class. It's just an awl looking, A-W-E. I guess that's how it's spelled. Or A-W-L, I don't know. Anyhow, it's just a little bit thinner than like what an ice pick would be. But I also have a needle, kind of a thicker needle that I just put into a cork. That works really good for thinner lines. I use those a lot on my bees to get the little bit of fuzz, or that fuzzy feeling they get or have on them. Okay. How about that? That was pretty easy. I don't know how long that took, but I did do a little prep work. But you can see 3 panels. Just doing some hexagon shapes. It's a good way to practice this process if you're interested. And as I was talking about, I do these panels similar to this, where on the back side it tells the magazine that I use. So if you're trying to figure out what magazines transfer best, you can do something like this, and then you have a representation of that magazine on the other side. And you can see some of these. I think this was Southern Art. It did not transfer well. That's kind of what a Nat Geo would look like too. And then some are kind of scratchy. That's because the ink is so thin. And there's another one that I couldn't get to release without rubbing the paper off, and that's a 1990 Architectural Digest. You'll notice older magazines, the ink, I guess it stays on there so long it won't come off, and it doesn't look as nice. So that's I think 23 or 24 different magazines on this one panel. It's kind of handy to have in the studio because there's times when I want specific colors or textures, and I'll notice like Glamour magazine, for instance, or Elle magazine. They both have a lot of skin tones in them because they have models and different textures of clothing and things like that. So specific things like that, I will use those magazines. And then if I'm looking for more bold colors, that's where Cigar Aficionado comes in, or Whiskey Advocate, because the advertising in them is like this, bright, brilliant colors. And it depends on how much of the color I need too. Some magazines are a little harder to come by. All right, but that's all I got for today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you would, please like, comment, let me know what you thought about this video, and if there's anything else about my process that you're interested in, I'd be glad to do a video specifically for that. So let me know. Search my other videos too. You might find something else of interest. Thanks for watching. Bye.